Hills. I'm going to be talking a little bit in code today because if you watch my channel and you watch my live, yes.
Is the plane going down? Are we going to die? Why are you saying I'm salty?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am the Housewife Historian. You can call me Lindsay, and I'm a few minutes late, so forgive me. Before we get into this though, of course, everything in this video is alleged. Make sure you guys hit the like button, make sure that you follow and subscribe to my channel because when I have good tea, I just come live with it. So it could be sporadic. You don't know when it's going to happen, but I always come live with my tea. So today we just got a huge announcement from ABC and Hulu. They're coming out with a series on Randall Emmett, who dated what was her? Lala Kent. If you guys watch Vanderpump Rules, then you know that Lala Kent dated Randall and they were together. They had a baby. They have a baby named Ocean, and then they broke up. And there's been a lot of rumors about him since. And now all of a sudden today, out of nowhere, we got the trailer for the ABC special, Hulu, and guess who is featured in it? And we didn't know. David Yontef from Behind the Velvet Rope. It looks like him and Heather McDonald are doing the commentary as far as it pertains to obviously the reality show portion of the show, because I'm sure for people that don't watch Vanderpump Rules, they maybe don't understand who Randall Emmett is, or maybe even, we probably wouldn't even really know him very well if it wasn't for Lala anyways. I mean, he's a big producer. I think he has a lot of connections, you know, allegedly, but I do think that her being on a reality show, she was really open about their relationship and when they started hooking up. Let me get to my comments. I just realized I can't see my comments. There we go, guys. No comment yet. Yeah, so I don't think that people really understand the dynamic between Lala Kent and her hooking up with Emmett. He was like married too, as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was married and she hooked up with him when she first met him. And I think he bought her like a Range Rover for some, like, act, if you will. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but basically, you know, she gave him the business and he bought her a Range Rover, and she was like really open about it on the show. So eventually when all of this came out like a year ago, people were kind of on Lala about it because of the fact that she didn't see any of the red flags, right? We even see a conversation that allegedly takes place between Lisa Vanderpump and Lala about the red flags and what those might have been and what she may or may not have ignored, right? I saw an interview that Lala did with Jeff Lewis on Jeff Lewis, his like live radio show, and she was like disappointed, I guess, because she was so open, she said, like so vulnerable this season. She shared a lot about her experience, like going through these, I don't even know if you want to call it the system, but I guess it is kind of the system, because she was like dealing with I don't even know, like children's services or custody issues, court issues. They were dealing with the court, I think maybe battling over custody issues because they weren't married. And so I think that she was showing a lot of that. She said that the cast, the people that have been filming with them, their production has not changed. So she's like, these people I work with like 9-10 months out of the year, the cameraman, the producer, she's like, they basically have become my family. So sometimes they make the mistake of chatting with them and talking to them like they're my family and they're my friends, when I'm forgetting that I'm like on a reality show and this is, could this be too much? Because Jeff Lewis was kind of giving her a hard time. Like, you share too much of your sex life. I don't even know if I can say that sex on here, but you share too much. Kind of like giving her like a little bit of a daddy talk, I guess. Like, you're more interesting. You don't have to give us sex talk to, you know, be interesting. You're a grown woman, yada, yada, yada. And Mercedes from if you guys remember the Shaws of Sunset, she was on there, and so she, her and Jeff Lewis, they're funny, but she told Lala, like, she was getting her group back. But back to this special, this is kind of a big deal, guys, because now this will be like what, the third Hulu special that's featured something about a housewife, right? Because originally we had the Erica Jane, and then we had the Jen Shaw, and now we have the Randall and Lala situation. But Heather McDonald is, I think, become really respectable in her field. She has like great connections. She has a great podcast. She's funny. I think she has a good following, in my opinion. She's not someone like I just skip over when I'm scrolling, because I do think that she's funny sometimes and she can laugh at herself. So I appreciate that. Plus, she's like super vulnerable. She talked about a situation that she had with somebody on Jeff Lewis's show, and like, I think they were like talking shit about her, and maybe they were like all hanging. See, she's like in the mix. She's out there in Orange County with Kelly and like she's in the mix, and she's vulnerable, and so we appreciate that. And then we see David Yontef from Behind the Velvet Rope. If you guys know, that is a podcast and YouTube channel. That is the channel that features Kim D from The Real Housewives of New Jersey. And she was if you're new and you don't know this, I'm just going to run through it for you guys real quick. She used to be on The Real Housewives of New Jersey as a friend of Teresa. So her and David kind of started, working together a little bit, doing their podcast on Saturdays and dropping it. And it's been very successful thus far. They were just at City Winery, like, I don't know, a month ago, and I was there. We had a really nice time. They did a really great Q&A. It was Kim D and David together. They had a lot of supporters there, and I just think that it's a big deal anytime bloggers from the blogger community, the YouTube community, make it onto a 3-letter network type of situation. It's a big deal, right? It was a big deal when Dana Wilkie was on. I think she was on, which one was she on? The second one? The Jen Shaw one? She might have been on them both, actually, if I'm thinking about it. But one of them she was on a lot, like more than the other one. So that was a pretty big deal as well, because she started YouTubing, I don't know how many years ago, like 3 or 4, maybe. I can't remember exactly. I think that's right. And she seems to be going through a hard time too right now. I saw that she had posted some messages, and I didn't know if anyone actually knew what was going on. You guys aren't very talkative today. I don't see anyone in the comments. Are you guys wanting to talk New Jersey? Is that what the problem is? If we talk New Jersey, you guys gonna chat back? If we talk about the pause, I put a whole video out about it, but I'm happy to talk about it again if you guys would like to kind of like maybe get on the same page a little bit. Real Housewives in New Jersey, they're taking a pause, possibly into the fall, possibly longer. We don't really know. The pause was not a planned pause, which leaves us a lot of speculation on why the decision to put on pause all of a sudden. If viewers are having a negative reaction to the show now, I can only imagine what it'll be like after they see the reunion, because from what we hear, it's pretty intense. All of the ladies said that they were like in bed for a couple of days afterwards because it was just so mentally exhausting. Even Jennifer Aiden said that, and she said like it wasn't my drama, but it was just so intense at times that it was exhausting. So that kind of tells us a little bit about what it's going to be like. But what will be nice, I think, is that we're going to go from the wedding series, which should be upbeat, happy. I don't think that they're going to feature a whole lot of the drama about her brother and her sister-in-law not coming. Like, maybe that won't be till the end when we actually, realize that they're not going to come. Because think about it, prior leading up to that, I'm sure that Teresa thought that they were coming, or that he was at least coming. And so maybe that's not going to take up very much of the wedding special. Maybe we're going to get to see more of the planning and more of the fun parts of a wedding, but maybe not. I don't know. Bravo really just, I don't even think they know what they're doing half the time anymore, to be honest. Andy Cohen's book came out. He did a book signing in New York. Marlene says, I didn't hear anything about Dana, but wondered why she hasn't been posting videos. Well, she posted a like she had like typed up a message and it was like a slide, and it looked like it pertained to maybe her ex-husband. I don't know what their like relationship is like. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know all the details, but it just looked like she maybe had a rough Mother's Day, and exes can be what they are sometimes. I don't think she's talking about her. I don't think she's talking about her current husband or fiance or boyfriend, but I could have been misreading, so that's why I was asking. That probably explains why she hasn't posted in the last couple of days. Speaking of Dana, I'm sure you guys all know, you guys usually, if you follow, you hear what some of the other bloggers are bringing. And allegedly, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I did hear parts of an interview, that Dana had done. And I kind of had suggested that those accusations, and like the fact that the person was so passionate about it that they did an interview. Like, typically sources are anonymous. They don't want people to know what they're saying, right? For example, Randall. We had an anonymous item about Randall a long, long time ago. I want to say almost a year ago. No one even wanted to post it. I remember Bravo and Boo shared it, and I shared it, and then I wish I could share it again for you guys, but again, with my account getting hacked, I don't think that I have it. But it was an anonymous DM about him and young girls. That's what it was. So I don't know if we're gonna see that in the Hulu series or not. I just mentioned this in my other video that I think the ex-wife had to file a like a emergency custody order because of the FBI contacting her about him. So I'm assuming they're gonna put some of that into the documentary. Or I'm not sure if it happened after maybe they filmed the documentary. I think they may have filmed in like February, March. So I don't really know the timeline on that because I don't follow it super closely. But yeah. And then we have Lala. She's, currently on Vanderpump Rules, doing a lot of press. And with everything that happened with the Toms and the affair, that seemed to take over the season this year. And so, again, like I was explaining, I think she's feeling frustrated because she was so open about everything that was happening and what she was going through, and she was vulnerable. And then it didn't air. So, Jeff Lewis was quick to remind her that sometimes that's not a bad thing. She might not be upset about that in a couple of years. She may be thankful that it didn't air, and maybe Bravo was doing her like a favor, right? It's very possible. They mention 50 in the trailer. They mentioned 50 Cent going online and telling Randall like, "Hey, yo, you owe me $1 million, and you got till like Monday to get it to me." So it was crazy time, guys. When all of that was happening, allegedly. And he's a big name in Hollywood as far as it goes with like producers. Well, he used to be. I don't know if his reputation is like spoiled from this or not. I'm sure that he has to work to keep up with everything, child support and stuff. Just saying. What have you guys been seeing on the internet today? Anything exciting that you want to chat about? Anyone have any questions? I saw Kim Zolciak was I think she was selling some stuff online. TMZ released an article and said, like, he's so mad at her and he doesn't want her in the house. Like, they were basically running to the courthouse to see who could file first, allegedly. I think he even filed for like full custody of their kids, and she filed for like joint custody. So that's pretty wild, I think, because I don't know. I just think that's pretty wild. And who else? Oh, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Sheree's a mess. What are we going to do with her? I just don't know what to do with her. I love Kenya. I do wish that, we're going to see Phaedra on Married to Medicine, but I still don't think it's going to be the same dynamic until she really gets her foot in the door, because she is going to be kind of the new woman on the block, and they're all doctors, but she's a lawyer. So I feel like in like the education field, like doctors and lawyers consider themselves sort of equal-ish, a little bit more than doctors do the average person, and probably lawyers too. So Marlene says she wants to hear Kroy's side of things. Allegedly he's like upset. It was a lot of money issues, a lot of her spending. Now they owe the IRS $1 million. That's a lot of money to owe the IRS. You can go to jail for owing the IRS. There were comments about like some bar or some place that they frequent or that's like around Atlanta that allegedly like her people come in and buy her like cases and cases of this like Italian wine that's all she drinks, and the people come in with like wads of cash and they get it at retail price because they buy a lot of it. Marlene says we need to hear the real tea from Troy. Well, people are saying that he might do like a tell-all. I mean, it's possible if he needs the money and they owe $1 million to the IRS. He should have never retired either. Didn't he retire? Like, you can't retire that young. You got to have good money skills. You got to have money invested if you want to retire. I mean, or you got to be like a billionaire. Like, we need to hear the real tea. Maybe interview their cook, Tracy. I wonder if Tracy's been around, Marlene. I wonder if she's been around. They said that like the oldest daughter hadn't even been in the house. Like she wasn't even allowed back or something in the house. Like she hasn't even been there in 6 months or something. Like I heard it was real bad. Real bad. We haven't heard from any of the other kids. Any info on Kim Z having a gambling problem? Well, we heard what they were saying about her vacationing in the Bahamas at the casino. And, you know, I mentioned the cases of wine for a reason because it sounds like she might be drinking a lot. I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe Kim always drank a lot. She always had a red Solo cup. She liked to smoke cigs. I don't know. I'm just saying that the way the comments were coming across, it sounded like she was buying a lot of cases, boxes of this wine. And that's what the person was like sort of, implying. And then we had the story about the casino in the Bahamas, and like she was on a slot machine and she'd spent some kind of like astronomical amount on slots. Like she couldn't stop, like thousands, over the thousands. Who wasn't allowed back in the house? I guess the oldest daughter. Like, I don't know if she wasn't allowed back or there was like a big fight and she just didn't go back. But allegedly she hasn't like been in the house for like 6 months. They said. Like, I guess it's been, rough. Probably because of all their probably whenever their house, when the first time when that house allegedly went into foreclosure, I would say probably a month before that would probably when all of this shit broke out, because you can only hide that for so long if that's what she was doing, which we're assuming that she probably was spending, and Kroy didn't know how much she was spending or didn't know how much they had to be spending. I could see Kim buying clothes and like hiding the receipts. I mean, I don't know. I've known a lot of women that have done that have like charged up money on credit cards that their husband has no idea exist. Like, so, I mean, maybe she just did it on a bigger scale. And when it went boom, it was the IRS that she wasn't paying instead of like Ohio Edison or like the electric bill. Something easy to catch up on. No, Kim's been not paying the government. Jeez, gosh. I need you to know that you can go to jail for that. You have to pay your taxes. It's a big deal. You got to pay your taxes. Like, people really go, like, even famous people go to jail for that. Didn't DMX went to prison for it. I want to say David Chappelle, but I could be totally wrong. Somebody else didn't. Maybe 50 Cent. I don't know. You go to taxes, or you go to prison for that though. So you got to pay your taxes, and $1 million is a lot of money to owe. I mean, we talk about Teresa Giudice going, they have accountants, so how they didn't know they owed money. Well, I would say a couple of things. One would be they could not have been paying their accountant, and their accountant stopped accounting for them. That's a possibility. We know that a Real Housewives of New Jersey, she's actually getting sued by her accountant, and she hasn't paid him in 3 years. So I'm always astonished at the accountants that don't realize that their clients don't have the money to pay them. Like, if you're their accountant and you know how much money they have and they're not paying you, or they don't have enough to pay you, like, I don't, I, that doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm assuming she probably wasn't paying the accountants. Who knows? Maybe like she didn't file for a long time. And then like she was just filing extensions or something. And then Kroy came along and found out and was like, oh no, we got to file all of this. And by the time they filed it, I know people like that haven't filed in like 7 years. Like, people will just stop filing for some reason. Um, yeah, actually, now thinking about it, did I file my state? I actually might be late on my state taxes. Um, but yeah, people will just, I mean, years and years, like, you can't do that. You definitely can't do that. So maybe it could have been something along those lines. And then once they got an account and got everything set up, they realized what they owe. Kroy is more sensible, so surprised he wouldn't let it get so bad. I agree with you, Marlene, but also I think that he was so in love with her. He did everything he did everything she said. And he trusted her. And I think because like she was a little bit older, she already had 2 kids, life experience, they've been together a long time. She, for being a single woman with 2 kids, when she came on the show, she was driving an Escalade, she owned a townhouse, she was on a Bravo series, she had a hit song. Like, he probably thought that she had money somewhere, and maybe she did have money when they met and he blew through it, or they blew through it. Who knows? Like, people go broke, people live beyond their means. When I say that the Real Housewives, like, a lot of them live paycheck to paycheck, that's like true. But he retired, so he should have known. Like, what do you? I mean, you guys have like 6 kids. You can't retire like that. When is this show? I believe Dana gives a comment. I'm not sure actually. I think that the trailer just hit literally like a half hour ago. So I'm not sure. I didn't see Dana, but maybe she is. Her lady parts must be like, oh, you are so funny. I just think that he was a little bit younger, guys. I don't think that his family, if you could look back on like when she got pregnant, and I don't think his family was like super, we like her because I don't know, but I think that he thought that she knew a little bit more and didn't maybe realize. And just like any other habit, guys, just like when people hide that they drink from their spouse, or they do drugs from their spouse, or they cheat on their spouse and they get away with it for like 8 years, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, how did they live a double life? Like, how did they do that? How did they hide that? And it comes back to, because people will do whatever to keep their secrets. So that's why they say secrets keep you sick, because people they'll do whatever they're to hide their addiction. So if their addiction's gambling, they're gonna hide where the money is coming from. They're gonna hide the tickets. You're not gonna know for a long time until it catches up. And it sounds like it might have caught up. Trey's such a shame he became estranged from his family. Yeah, it is. That is sad. Randall Scandal on Hulu starting May 22nd. All right. Love that. I'm excited to watch that. I think it'll be good. We haven't had a Hulu series in a while since Jen Shaw. I figure if Mary Crosby comes back to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, there's a lot of stuff around that lady. And I just wonder if she's coming back. Hey, because I think that she was like filming, and I think they were talking about bringing her back. I did see headlines about Whitney and Lisa Barlow fighting. That didn't take long. That took 1 season. He could work for a team as a coach. Absolutely. I don't know why he doesn't. You're right. I don't know why he doesn't do that. She probably wants him home with her all the time. Like, that was another problem. Like, she didn't even want to work. She didn't want to be away from him. Like, they had to be together so much that, if you guys remember, when they were like dating and getting married, like, she stopped going on the girls trip. Like, I think she went to a lunch to film, and like, he sat in the car. He was in the car the whole time waiting on her. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. So that would probably would be my assumption that she doesn't want him to. Maybe now she does, but maybe not, because we heard that she's like got things taken care of. She's got somebody taking care of things. So maybe she has nothing to worry about. Maybe he's the one that's gonna have something to worry about, because Kim seems to be able to take care. I mean, she does a good job of making sure things are taken care of. So I'm sure that she has a plan B figured out. I doubt that she would run to the courthouse to file divorce papers if she wasn't prepared in some way for this to happen. I'm sure she wasn't greatly prepared, of course, but I'm sure that she had some sort of inkling something was going on, and I would think that she would do what she can. And I'm sure she called Andy. We know they texted. I'm sure that they talked. Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know, this is kind of a make or break season for them a little bit too. We don't have Portia Williams anymore. I don't think people would be, I think they might be open to see Kim Z come back. We saw her that one time. She actually came and filmed at Portia's house. But she seemed a little like messed up to me when she was there. I don't know. Kim Z now isn't the same Kim Z that she was when she came on the show. So we have to remember we would be getting somebody different. Do you guys remember when she was fighting with Lindsay Lohan's dad? I mean, hello, you don't get any better TV than that. If you guys remember Lindsay Lohan's dad and Lindsay Lohan, that was like a big thing back then. Here comes Kim Z, Real Housewives of Atlanta, hooking up with freaking Lindsay Lohan's dad, who was also in celebrity rehab. So who knows? Do you guys remember that? They were like in the restaurant and they got in a fight. See, or Nene was there. And then Nene and him got into it. Nene and Lindsay Lohan's dad got into it. And then later down the road, Nene did a talk show and they brought Lindsay Lohan's dad on like virtually and they got into it again. They were like screaming. You guys should go look that up if you haven't. It's funny. But yeah, guys, so make sure that you keep an eye out for the Hulu series. I'm definitely going to cover it. I'm excited. I love a good Hulu series. Who doesn't love a good scandal, right? Make sure that you guys hit the like button. I just posted a video prior to this though that's just over the weekend and some different things that took place. We're getting some inserts also from Andy Cohen's book. I don't know how we're supposed to really perceive them. I've seen a couple about like Teresa and Melissa, and allegedly Melissa sending like a 3,000 word essay via text when everything transpired at the Ganza War between Jen and her husband. Also revealed it. I don't know if he basically implied that it was going to be Teresa. He thought season 13 was going to be Teresa's last season, and that's why they maybe considered bringing Caroline back. I don't know. That insert didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And some people are kind of taking it like, wow, you like are doing Teresa a little dirty with that. But I'm not sure if that's everyone's interpretation of it. But it's probably going to be a good book, I would say. David Quinn was the first one to actually write the Housewives book. He wrote the Roses and Rosé, and that was a super big hit. I mean, the women were like fighting over each other to be featured or interviewed for that book, and he did a good job writing it. So hopefully Andy did the same, I'm sure, and hopefully he gives us some real tea. I don't know. I haven't really seen anything too juicy yet. Like nothing that nothing that was that juicy. Allegedly something about BravoCon and that Teresa like may have texted about her like mind space to do split pay. I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to really look into all of it. So I don't know when this book's coming out, to be honest with you, but I'm sure that we will continue to get excerpts from it because of people that have it post it. So thank you. I mean, for people that don't like to read, we're thankful for the highlights. I'm just saying, I don't really have the time to sit down and read Andy Cohen's whole book. I would love to, I guess, maybe, but I don't know. I just don't see Andy Cohen like giving us the tea. Like he still works there. He's still got to work with these women. That he's still their boss. Like how good of a tell-all can you really write? That's why I don't think it's like a tell-all. I think it's more of a tell my life type of book, not a tell my life while I was on the The Housewives. Yes, I do. Yep. I sure do. Actually, this comment right here, I definitely feel like he is burnt out. He looks burnt out. He looks tired. He has 2 kids. He posts a video of his daughter and son this morning. I actually reshared it because it just reminded me of my own parenting, because he like took a piece of his son's cookie to give to his daughter, and the son just like starts going ballistic, and Andy's like trying to like reason and explain. He's like, well, I think it would just be nice of you to give Lucy a piece of your cookie. And that's like always my line, like, I just think it would be nice if you would. And we're just over here gentle parenting our terrible 2 and 3-year-olds. So it's fine. And he looked tired for sure. Now, allegedly, Andy doesn't want to slow down. I think that he feels if he lets go of something, that someone else is going to take it over. And I don't know. I don't know what I see for Andy. He's worked really hard. He continues to work really hard. Maybe cut down on Watch What Happens Live. That would be the first place I would maybe cut down and do it, 3. I don't know. I don't know how many nights in a week they actually do Watch What Happens Live though, because it's not actually on the night, right? Um, that's true too. He is not related to the action. Seems uninvolved. Yeah, maybe unprepared a little bit sometimes. I noticed that depending on the franchise will depend on how invested he is in the reunion and how well he will know what transpired through the season. So that's just my opinion. Andy posted a video also on a plane today, and he was watching Vanderpump Rules reunion, and he was like kind of joking because he's like, I'm watching it and nobody around me cares. Like, it's totally fine. And it was just funny. So yeah, I mean, he just finished up with his Daddy Diaries, like little round or tour, whatever he did for the book. And JoJo says Watch What Happens Live is filmed earlier around 2. Oh, it's filmed earlier in the day, but not necessarily earlier in the week, I guess. No? Yes. I wish they would revamp Watch What Happens Live, to be honest, because I think it has potential to be really great. Just needs a little revamping. It needs redecorated in there too. It looks like an old studio. Like, you need to like brighten it up, put something in it, spruce it up, like, but I don't know, something. But I heard Teresa's going on Tuesday too. She's supposed to be on Watch What Happens Live, so that'll be good. I wonder like when Bravo's gonna come out and announce that they're gonna. I wonder if they'll actually announce it. Did they announce it with the Beverly Hills Housewives that they were gonna push back filming? I was just wondering if they did or not. I did think it was funny that he said that Lisa Rinna basically drunk texted him in the middle of the night and said that she was done with the show. And then like 2 weeks later, he said her people tried to pretend like that didn't happen. And he was like, oh no, like we're already ready to like move into filming. Like we didn't account for you. Sorry. And he said he felt like she really regretted doing that. But that just made me laugh because I was like, I feel like she was like drunk on social media, mad about just mad about everything, mad because she was needed some bread, mad because Kathy Hilton, mad because of her salary, mad because of her husband, mad because of her house. I don't know. She was mad. She took it out on him. It cost her job on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She should have never quit. Just saying. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to cut this now. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm glad we got to talk a little bit about the Hulu series, and check out my last video on the Real Housewives of New Jersey for all the tea over the weekend, yada, yada, yada. And I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure you hit the like button. This is a great comment. Watch What Happens. It's no longer spontaneous like it used to be. It's very planned. I agree with you. I would like to see Bravo do something different here. So maybe they'll be inspired after they revamp New Jersey. Who knows? All right, guys, have a great day.